10 years ago, there was one ex-Red Bull rookie on the grid, Johann Zarco. But today, there's 11, making up 50% of the MotoGP category. So how on earth has one system produced so many professional racers so quickly? It's called the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup, a factory you might not even know about. And somehow, it keeps producing top riders. I've watched kids go in and kids come out as factory MotoGP racers. But how do these riders get chosen? And why does this system work so well? Because without you realising it, they're everywhere. In Moto3, 19 of the current 26 riders are ex-Red Bull rookies. In Moto2, 20 of the 28 riders are ex-Red Bull rookies. Which means across the World Championship ladder, staggeringly 50 of the 76 riders are ex-Red Bull rookies. And at that point, it's not a coincidence anymore. But it goes even further than that. In the last 11 years, ex-Red Bull rookies have won 4 BSB championships, 9 Moto America championships, 4 World Endurance championships, 3 World Superbike championships, 9 Moto3 World Championships, 6 Moto2 World Championships, and 2 MotoGP World Championships. And yes, even 1 National Superstock Championship. And all these riders, including myself, came through one place. So what actually is it? Well, on paper, it's very simple. A group of young riders, all on identical machinery, racing at 7 of the MotoGP rounds. There's no factory teams, no advantage with their equipment, and no excuses. You're all given the same bike, the same kit, and the same staff to work with.
Yeah, the Red Bull Rookies Cup is amazing because it's the first chance you get to ride at the world stage with the world's best riders that are in your age group. It's quite a culture shock really when you first get there.
It's the Red Bull Rookies is giving young riders the chance to pursue their dreams, you know, to come from all over the world. 46, I think it is, different nations have been represented in the Cup. We're now into the 20th season, and to give riders from all over the globe the chance to pursue their dream of becoming GP stars.
And on the surface, that's what most people think makes this work. But that's not all that's going on, because this starts long before you even get chosen for the championship. At the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup selection event,
you have an invitational event, and it's usually at a lesser known circuit in Spain, and you've got 200 of the best junior riders in the world that get selected to come to this event, and it goes over for 2 days. It's essentially, you got judges there who are spotting you riding, spotting you in the paddock, that like kind of trying to suss you out with everything. I never think even before the event, my dad had to fill out a load of forms about his height and my mum's height and all that kind of things, which is actually crazy when you think about it, but they've got to select the right guys.
After all, this is a process of finding the next MotoGP World Champion, and all of those things really do matter. You're under the watchful eye of the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup selection team, which is made up of former Red Bull Yamaha team owner Peter Clifford, ex-Grand Prix winners Gusta Loinger and Harold Bartel, and the Rookies Cup coach Danny Ribalta.
You know, realistically, if you're going to credit any one person or persons with the success of the Rookies Cup, it really has to be the rider coaches. Of course, Gusta Loinger, who's been involved since the very first year of the Rookies Cup, and Danny Ribalta, who's now been here, you know, for more than a decade. You know, they really contribute to what the riders can achieve. They've both learned over their years in the Cup just how to relate to the riders, and therefore how to get the best out of them. And they know, you know, just what it takes to get the best out of the Moto3 bikes. So they really, you know, have to take full credit for just, you know, what fantastic races the Rookies Cup turns out.
I couldn't have made this video today without the help of Jackery. Whilst I'm shooting in my studio, I actually have limited access to power, but I do have a lot of devices like my camera and my laptop that needs charging. Luckily, with the help of my Jackery 300D, I've managed to keep all of my devices topped up without having to worry about where the next plug socket is. I just keep it to hand, I plug in my devices when I need to, and I can just crack on. It helps me a lot when I'm on the road and I'm bouncing between locations and I need to keep things topped up. Having power sorted makes the whole day smoother and helps me focus on what I'm doing instead of the logistics. It's the equivalent of having 9 power banks and is really portable, so it makes the whole day a lot smoother from start to finish. At this point, you don't even have to be an accomplished road racer, as they're looking at any talented rider on a motorbike. And this selection event is the equivalent of X Factor for motorbikes. Once you arrive, you're handed a bib with a number on it, and whether you realise it or not, from this moment on you're being monitored, whether your helmet is on or off. Whether you're the class clown, you're looking focused, or you're not paying attention in the briefings. What do you actually look for at the selection event?
Well, it's a very good question, really, because, you know, it's hard to say specifically, you know, we're looking at the way the guy breaks into a corner, turns, does whatever. It just comes down to the fact that those of us, the four of us who are on the selection committee, we've watched an awful lot of motorcycle racing, you know. I mean, well, you know, between the four of us, you know, over 200 years of motorcycle racing. And I think we just feel that having watched that much racing in our lives, you just watch somebody and you go, oh my goodness, yes, I want to see more of him. I think, you know, there's something special about him or her. It's really looking for the positives where you go, oh my goodness, yes, that rider's making the best use of the motorcycle, they're making the best use of the corner.
On day one, everyone is assigned a group and you're given a few sessions on track to be observed. The track chosen is normally an unusual layout of a circuit that nobody races at, to try and keep the playing field level. You need to learn the track quickly to show your skills before the first round of eliminations happens. That night, everyone's pulled into a room and one by one, names are read out for people that have been successful for the second day. For those that didn't make the cut, that's the end of the selection event. Although, like myself, I wasn't successful in the first year and I came back the next year when I was a little bit more experienced. Day 2 arrives and another round of sessions happens on circuit.
I made it through to the final day, and then it gets to about 50 of you left of that process of elimination. And at the end of the day, Peter Clifford's on the balcony reading out names, and I was one of the 10 names that he said, and yeah, I couldn't believe it that I got in.
These riders will normally be joined by the winner of the Northern Talent Cup, the British Talent Cup and the Asia Talent Cup to replace the riders that are leaving the Rookies Cup at the end of this year. I've been watching your career closely so far, Ethan. I'm a massive fan already and I'm very, very excited for you this season. I think you've got big things ahead of you. And I'm glad to be doing this interview now because we can look back and do the MotoGP interview one day and look back at this interview that we did. And this is your first test. What does it feel like stepping into the paddock? Because you've obviously raced in junior classes before, but does this feel different?
It's definitely a little bit different. I'm nervous a bit because the bike's new, everything's new, but I'm definitely excited as well to get on the bike. And I've been to Hera quite a few times, so I definitely enjoy the track and I'm excited to ride the Rebel Rookie bike around here.
And that's where things start to become clear, because this isn't a system to ease riders in. This is a system to put you under the spotlight from day one.
You can never be comfortable because, you know, it's an election event that you enter for the Rookies Cup kind of stays with you, and I felt as though you're kind of always being looked at, always being judged, you know, both on paper and as you are as a person. As I think you just have to be the full package, and that's what they're looking for.
And once you're in, that spotlight doesn't end, because like the selection event, now everything is equal. The same bike, the same tyres, the same equipment and the same staff. No one has an advantage, so the only person that can make a difference is you. Your speed, your decisions and your ability to adapt. Everything gets exposed and there's nowhere to hide.
It's definitely, the race is going to be a lot more difficult. Obviously there's a lot quicker people here than what I've raced against. You've got people that are up the front in junior GP and things like that. So I definitely think the competition, especially in the races, so I think that's going to be the biggest difficulty.
And you feel that straight away. You go from your national championship where you're the best of the best to racing against the best of the best from every country.
At that time I was winning quite a lot in, you know, the British Talent Cup and, you know, the Motorstar Championship, and I'll be winning comfortably. You know, I'll be really upset if I didn't win. Well, you know what it's like, you just kind of get addicted to that feeling. You have this, I don't know, you kind of ride this wave where you kind of expect yourself to win as well. And I remember my first test, you know, you come in there full of confidence and you think, yeah, I can still give this a good go. And I remember looking at the first timesheet. It was on 2 laptop screens, and I started at the top and I went all the way to the bottom, and I was like, oh, my name's not on there. And at this point I hadn't noticed the second screen, and I said to one of the guys, I was like, oh, my name's not on the screen. He went, oh yeah, it is, you're there. Stone last, and I'd never been last at any race, any session ever before, and I could not believe it. And then I realised how tough it was going to be, and yeah, I think I gave it a good go, because from then on I made sure I wasn't last again. So yeah, it is so tough. The level is higher than what you could ever imagine, but it just makes you work that extra bit harder.
You can't blame the bike and you can't blame the circuits. there's nothing to fall back on. All you've got is you and your talent at the age of 15 years old.
I just want to learn as much as I can and just get as good results as I can. I mean, I'm not expecting to be up the front, but I'll be happy if I would be getting as good results as I can.
And that is where this system becomes so powerful, because quite quickly you start to see the differences appear. Being fast is the bare minimum to be in the rookies. It's everything else that separates you. But what is everything else? From the outside, it just looks like teenagers racing some motorbikes. But inside, that's far from the case. You're being evaluated all the time, and not just by the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup staff. All the teams from the MotoGP, Moto2 and Moto3 World Championships are watching this class closely. It's how you can adapt to new circuits on a new bike with limited practice time and sessions. It's how you deal with the pressure of racing in front of hundreds of thousands of fans. It's how consistent you can be with only 7 rounds of the championship. It's how you learn from the professionals that are suddenly surrounding you. It's how you respond when things go wrong. And it's how much you can get out of the same bike as everyone else, lap after lap.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very intense environment because it is at a Grand Prix. You know, it's live on television, it's live in front of, you know, a huge crowd, and perhaps more importantly, or more importantly as far as the pressure is concerned, it's live in front of all the major manufacturers and all the major teams. So the riders know that what they do during a race weekend is being seen by their potential future employers. So, you know, that there can't be more pressure than that, really. And you know, you talked about the way that the riders perform off the bike. During the season, we certainly see how riders relate to their mechanics, to the other riders. You know, the respect for other riders, the respect for the partners that we have in the Cup, to Red Bull, KTM, HJC, helmets, to Ippon, to, you know, Alpine Stars, the way they relate to these people. That is all part of what we expect the riders to develop if they're going to continue through a second and perhaps a third season of Rookies Cup and into the Moto3 or Moto2 categories as Red Bull riders. We try and alleviate the pressure as much as possible. What we tell the riders is, look, you know, particularly at a pre-season test like we are now, and in the early season, you know, we don't expect you to start. We don't care what lap times you do. We don't care what position you are in the early events of the season. It's want to see progress. We want to see the fact, okay, you know, you're learning this, you're learning the tracks, you're learning how to make use of the motorcycle, and you're learning to get the best of things. You know, you've got to talk. The guys have got to talk to the race, to the technical staff, to Gustav and Danny, the rider coaches, to make sure that they get the best out of it. So, you know, that's what we want to see.
And after a while, you realise something else. Because this isn't just about developing young riders. Because if it was, it wouldn't have had this much success. There's lots of other academies around the world, like the VR46 Academy, but none of them can operate at this scale. Because this is where the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup makes the difference.
I'd like to say we're very clever, but it's not that. We're very fortunate that we have the support of Red Bull, who give us the structure that we need, of KTM, who produce superb motorcycles, you know, of Pirelli, of Alpine Stars, of Ippon, all these people. So we're giving the riders the very best possibilities that they can have, and you give talent all these possibilities, and it's not really a surprise that they succeed. But what I'm really happiest about is that more than 50% of the riders who go through the Rookies Cup have made a Grand Prix start. And that is, to me, that is the best thing, that we're helping riders live their dreams. If you can go through Rookies Cup and more than half of the rookies make a Grand Prix start, then cheerio chaps, the rest of it's up to you.
Because this isn't just creating fast riders, it's creating complete riders. Riders that can adapt instantly. Riders that can get on any bike, in any condition, with maximum pressure and perform. Which is exactly what MotoGP demands. You don't get much time to prove yourself, and you don't have the chance to make any excuses. You have to deliver immediately. And if you've already been through that environment from the age of 15, you arrive in MotoGP with all the skills necessary.
Predicting when they're rookies where they're going to end up really isn't possible. There are notable exceptions of that. You know, actually, and one of the exception perhaps, is Pedro Acosta. because when we saw him at the selection event, you know, my goodness, he stood out about everybody, and he was like that through rookies. But you know, you've got a lot of riders who are very, very different. Brad Binder is a perfect example. He won one Rookies Cup race. You know, he was in the series for 3 years. He won one Rookies Cup race. And I've admitted it before. When Brad, you know, at the end of his 3 years left the Rookies Cup, I would have said, yep, good rider, never, ever going to be a world champion, you know? And how wrong was I? So, you know, he just went on improving.
Looking back now, I realise it wasn't just preparing you for the next level, it was putting you straight into it. And that is why it works, because immediately it exposes riders to the demands of MotoGP much sooner than anything else can. So that is why so many of the world's top racers are all ex-Red Bull rookies. And if you want to see the future of MotoGP, you don't have to look very far. It's already on the Red Bull MotoGP Rookies Cup grid this season. And I think through my research, I've realised that I think 9 of the last Moto America championships have been won by rookies. 4 of the last 5 BSB championships have been won by rookies. So it proves that it not necessarily means that you'll get to MotoGP, but you can still have a successful career off the back of the rookies.
Yeah, and Superbike world champion as well. So,
And 3,
you know,
yes,
of course,
yes.
Yeah.
That's small
Well,
thing.
you did it. You did okay for yourself and your brother.
Thanks, Pete. I have already mentioned my Superstock Championship, so I'm glad you put that in there.